Two young gents walk through a field getting dandy with one another. One jumps over a fence and the other tries as well, but drops down and says, "Dear me, old boy, it appears I've shattered my leg." And wouldn't you know, a lovely young woman walking her cow offers them refuge. They introduce themselves. The lady is Megan, and the ginger is Frank. Her aunt and uncle give them shelter. The asshole friend tells Frank, since his leg has to heal, he'll go on ahead. Megan patches him up, and it would appear they're quite smitten with each other, which frustrates Sir Bronn of the Blackwater, who wants young Frank to bugger off his Kool-Aid. Megan has gone off to the sheep-shearing festival, so he borrows a bicycle and goes to see her. And she's delighted to see him as well. And they all have a crazy-ass party. Frank gets shit-faced and can't ride home, so he sleeps in the cold barn. Megan feels terrible for him, so she goes and gives him a blanket. He goes in for the kill, if you know what I mean. But she pushes him away. But then she's like, "Hey, alright then." And they sex. And from that point on, every other scene is bang, 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 bang. How's your father? Bronn senses funny business going on, and it gets awkward. The family is getting pretty damn tired of Frank being there, so they give him his marching orders. Bronn shouts at Megan, "You said you were gonna fucking marry me?" And he starts getting handsy. Frank comes around and says, "Unhand her, foul villain." So Bronn takes a swing at him, and misses, and tells Frank to leave them alone. So him and Megan make plans for her to meet him at a train station. After he gets some money, he'll send for her. But things go awry. He meets an old chum from university, and he has a picnic with his family, and Frank saves him from drowning. So he sets him up with his sister. And one day Megan comes into town looking for him, strolling around like a ghost in a cemetery. He catches a glimpse of her and runs, but goes to follow her. She gets one of those feelings that tells you to turn around, and she does. And someone with a mirror goes by, and she only sees her reflection. Frank hides from her like a pussy, and she walks off all alone. Years later, Frank and his wife are having a ride through the countryside when he comes across Megan's uncle, not admitting to one another that the other knows who the other one is. Frank asks him about the grave by the road, and the uncle tells him that Megan came home after being gone for a few days, and she was forever changed. Depressed. And a few months later they realized she was pregnant, and she died giving birth to a son named Francis. She also requested to be buried by the side of the road, so she can wait for Frank to return, and they raise Francis on the farm with them. Frank's wife calls him and says it's time to go. They set off, and while driving, Frank catches a glimpse of his demigod son, and gives a stare like he's just driven through the Twilight Zone. A summer story. Busted.